Hello, everybody. Welcome to According to Matume, and I am Matume. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you for engaging with my content. And if you like content like this, don't forget to subscribe down below, and I will bring you more content on this channel. So, in today's video, I am going to talk about how to build an emergency fund. There's so much content out there. You have to have an emergency fund. It has to be 6 months, it has to be 12 months. But with this video, I'm going to give you a simple step-by-step video where you can start building your emergency fund in the simplest way ever. If you watch my content, I believe in simplicity and everything getting to the point. So, step one is know your actual income. So, you need to know the income that you get after deductions, after tax, after medical aid, after retirement fund, and all of those goods. It's very important that you know the exact amount to the cent, because you are not guessing. You know exactly how much you earn, and you know how much you have room to play with when it comes to your income. And then step number two is know your expenses. So that is everything from major expenses like rent or mortgage if you have a house, your car payment if you have one, down to your bank fees. It might look like a 5 rand here for sending money to somebody, or going to the ATM, or the fees that you have to pay to keep your bank account alive. Those fees are very important. Again, it is very important that you know the amount from the highest rand to the smallest cent, so that you have an exact number of what your expenses look like. Step number three is you have to decide how long you want your emergency fund to last. It is very common to have an emergency fund from 3 months to 12 months, but you have control over how much you have in your emergency fund. You can have an emergency fund that lasts you over 3 years, or you can have an emergency fund for as short as 6 months. This will depend on how stable your income is, how stable your job is, but with the economy and unemployment and everything, you can never be too sure, which is why there's this idea of having an emergency fund and planning ahead. So let's say you want an emergency fund that is 6 months, then you have to determine how much you will need to have saved for that 6 month emergency fund. So practically, you know how much you earn. Let's say, for argument's sake, you earn 20,000 rand after deductions, and then your expenses are maybe 12,000 rand, all in all, including all of your expenses, including those small 5 rands. So let's say, for argument's sake, you want your emergency fund to last you for 6 months. Then you will take 12,000 rands, which are your expenses. You will multiply that by 6, which will be the 6 months that you want your emergency fund to last. And in total, that will give you 72,000 rand. So that will be your 6 month emergency fund. It will be the amount that you need to save in order for you to be happy with the backup money that you have in your savings. Then after that, you have to determine how long it's going to take you to save 72,000 rand in your emergency fund. Again, you have full control of how long it will take you to save that money. You have to, again, determine how long you want it to last. So if you want to take 2 years to save that emergency fund, or you want to take 6 months to save that emergency fund, and again, you're gonna take that total, which is 72,000, you're gonna divide it by 6, or you're gonna divide it by 12, or you're gonna divide it by 24, and that amount that you get at the end of dividing your emergency fund and the duration that you want to take to save it is going to give you the exact amount that you need to save per month in order for you to be able to have the amount for your emergency fund that you need. It is as simple as that. Step one is determine your income. Step two is determine your exact expenses. Step three is to decide how long you want your emergency fund to last. Then you take that duration, you multiply it by your expenses. then you'll have the amount that you need for your emergency fund. And then after that, you take that amount, you divide it by how long you want to take to save your emergency fund, and you will have the monthly contributions that you will need to make for you to reach that amount for your emergency fund. Obviously, it is very important to get to it as quickly as you can, but we can't say everybody has access to 5,000 rands per month to put aside for your emergency fund. Maybe you have 1,500. Maybe it will take you 4 years to get to your emergency fund. The point is for you to start. As soon as you have a month's worth of your emergency fund, you have won the war, because that means if something happens to your income, if something happens to your job, you will have a grace period of a month to be able to take care of yourself, to be able to have the freedom to make a plan for where you're going to get your next income. I hope this video was very helpful. Thank you so much for watching my content, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.